Hi, today we're going to talk about location targeting and how to optimize some of these settings for locations. So when you're in a Google campaign, you can choose where you want to show your ads. Now, with the default settings, anyone who's in the location or searches about the location can see the ads. So this means if you target all of one country, someone from a different country could see your ads. If you are in one city and you provide a local service, you might only want to show your ads to people who are physically in that region. So if we go to our location options, we have two of them. One is presence or interest in. This is people who are in the location or show interest in the location. So for instance, if you're a hotel and you're based in Chicago, I'm based in Washington, D.C., and I search for Chicago hotel, I could see the ad because I showed an interest in the location, even if your targeting was only Chicago. Now, if your option is people in or regularly in the location. Now, if you're a hotel, you only target Chicago. I'm in DC, I search Chicago hotel. I can't see it. So often more people are traveling or looking for services outside a region. Presence or interest in can be very useful. If you provide local services, then often you just want a presence, people in the location. You can also follow these same for exclusions. Now, one of the issues we often see, though, is you might be a national company targeting a country, and you don't change any defaults because you're targeting everyone, except someone from outside the country, especially if you don't deal outside the country, can still see ads. So sometimes you want to switch these. Now, if you're bidding by manual CPC, enhanced CPC, then you can go into your location options, aggregate the data, and use bid modifiers by locations. If you're targeting CPA or ROAS, you don't have those options. So then you only have an on-off switch. And then lastly, Google doesn't have a report that shows you your data by location, although it is available in the API. So then one thing we often want to do is first aggregate data overall. Now this is analysis. You can do this with pivot tables from Google Data. And we just want to see how we do by every location to have that initial aspect of other places where our cost per conversion is astronomically high compared to our best location options. And if so, we may need to make some adjustments. Now, in a case where you're bidding manually, it's easy to set bid adjustments. So we could say, what is our goal? And then find what those suggested bids should be and apply them. If you're not using a system like Analysis, you can still do this. It's just a little more work in Excel. And then lastly, if you're using a system that aggregates data via the API, you can see people in targeted location, and we could see that we have a 616 cost per conversion. Outside of location, we have a $1,000 cost per conversion. So when you have large differences in those CPAs or that ROAS value, that's often an indication that a lot of people outside of your region are not as interested in your ads as people in your region. And especially if you're not hitting your target budgets now, it's a good idea to remove the group that's interested and only target the people in the location. So next time you're looking at your location data, right, it's important to remember people with an interest in your targeted region may not be in the region whatsoever. It could be a different country or another city or state in the same country where you're just not targeting that region. Presence means people are in them. So as a top level rule, if you're a local service company, then you often want to use presence. If you're selling online or you're national, often you want to use presence or interest in. So next time you look at your targeted locations, often what we're looking at is if we're a service-based company, we're really local, we want to use presence. If we're a national company, we service everywhere, we could use presence and just choose that country. If people come to us or search from outside of our natural regions, then we may want to use presence or interest in. Then next, what you often want to do is go to your locations, see how your aggregate data is doing so you can remove any regions that aren't performing well. Lastly, if you want everyone who's sort of interested in your location to see it, but there are certain regions you just don't want to show, then you can also use the exclusions and ensure between your location data and your exclusions that you're only showing your ads to the proper group of individuals. And the bid modifiers ensure that you have the right bid set so that you get good conversions regardless of user location and that you're meeting your ROAS and CPA goals.